Hello and welcome to Odoo Live. My name is Noel, Community Manager here at Odoo San Francisco, and thank you for joining us for our first live English webinar of 2019. Joining me today we have Brandon, one of our business advisors, to talk about this very important topic. What is Odoo? Thank you for joining us, Brandon.
Thank you so much, Noel.
As always, if you have any questions regarding today's topic or presentation, you can send us a question in the chat and we'll answer it at the end during our Q&A session. Additionally, if you have questions that we can't answer during our live presentation, or if you're watching us recorded, you can send us an email to webinars@odoo.com, or to get in touch with Brandon directly. Brandon, what is your email address?
bjo@odoo.com.
Great. So with all of that being said, I believe we are ready to take it away. Go ahead and tell us what is Odoo, Brandon.
Hi, welcome everybody. So Odoo, the purpose of today's webinar is just to go over what Odoo is, what my role is here at Odoo, and how Odoo is used to help your business. So we put together a bit of an agenda, and we'll just begin. So my name is Brandon Johnson. I'm a business advisor here at Odoo, but I'm also an account manager. And I have a few things that are particular to my role, specifically about your business, learning about the requirements, presenting live demos, discussing best practices, and account management. Now, that's pretty straightforward, but when we say talking about your business and learning your requirements, those are really very important things within Odoo, because even though Odoo has a full solution, we want to find a solution that fits best for you. So it's not what one person gets who's focused on manufacturing is going to be completely different than somebody else who's focused on, say, e-commerce. However, there may be some overlap in the process. So my role specifically is talking to you, learning about you, how you run your business, and then also how Odoo will play the role within it. I also do live demos of Odoo, and that's basically, it can be very complicated or very simple. By simple, I mean we could use something as simple as 3 apps, or we could go as complicated as 20 apps, or even the 30 apps. It's entirely up to you how complicated we get. And then also best practices. So not only am I required to talk to you about the business, but I also have, since I speak to so many people about their different needs, I may have some ideas on best practices for certain industries, how people do it best with Odoo, etc. And then finally, account management. If you do sign up with Odoo and work with me, I'll be the account manager for the next 9 months. And as an account manager, my main role is less of an implementation and more of a go-to person for a number of different things. Sometimes it's, hey, how do I do something like this? Can this be done in Odoo? And also discussing the pricing as well. And when you need to add on additional modules, if it makes sense, and possibly doing demos for those additional ones as well. My email, as I said, was bjo@odoo.com, and you can schedule a meeting right here at odoo.com /demo-bjohnson. So to start off, what is Odoo? We have a bit of a agenda, the what, where, and who of Odoo, the different versions, how to get started, greatest strengths, and app highlights. So we're going to start with the what, where, and who of Odoo. Specifically, what is Odoo? Odoo is a full suite of business apps. Now, that means a lot of different things for a lot of different people. What ERP is it's an enterprise resource planning software. And in layman's terms, it's the apps or software needed to make your business run efficiently. So in a lot of cases, that will contain sales, it will contain CRM, it will contain accounting, manufacturing in some cases, projects. We have over 40 different apps to use to help manage your business. And each of these apps integrates with itself, with other apps, I mean. We also have different editions. Specifically, we'll go into those in just a bit. We cover a lot of different industries as well. So as I mentioned, manufacturing, but we also have e-commerce focus. We can also focus on wholesalers. We can really cover a lot of different areas of the business and a lot of different industries as well. And as I said before, you can use as much or as little of Odoo as you want. Some people only use one app, some people use all 40 apps, and some people use even beyond that. It's entirely up to you, and my role as a business advisor is to help you find that solution that fits best. So as I said, we have about 40 different apps. This isn't even the full number anymore. We also just recently included Documents apps. That's our newest one in version 12. And, we're constantly adding more and more apps as time goes on. So each of these are parts that we consider core to, most businesses need a website. Most businesses need sales, operations. Not everybody needs manufacturing, but finance, human resources, marketing. All of this is very important to make sure a business runs properly. And we split up each of the apps. So if you don't need all of this, you can choose the ones that are most relevant to you. So most businesses will use sales, most businesses will use operations, and most businesses will use finance. And then the other items out there are more, do we need this? And then if yes, great, because it integrates fully with all the other apps as well. CRM, sales, manufacturing is really big, accounting, website, project and purchase and inventory are really the top sellers for us because those are pieces of the puzzle that everybody needs. And one more thing is we also do extra integrations as well. So if you're shipping items through DHL, UPS, USPS, FedEx, or even selling on eBay, we have integrations for those as well. So going into Odoo, right now we have 7, I think we have 8 now because we're opening an office in the Middle East around Dubai, I believe. But I'm located in the San Francisco office. Our headquarters are in Belgium, and we have office in New York, India, Hong Kong, as well as Luxembourg as well. Now, this isn't up to date anymore. I think we support even more languages. We're up to almost 3.5 to 4 million users. We're getting about 1,200 installs a day, and we're still having exponential growth. Odoo was started by our CEO, Fabian Pinnekers, and our mission, which it's been since the beginning, is to help organizations grow, help them unleash their potential by empowering users with the tools that they love. And he started this mainly for his dad at the time. And the reason why is he wanted to create an affordable software that small businesses can use. And over time, that really caught on and people really like it. And it's just been going gangbusters since then. Next, who is Odoo? So there's business advisors like myself. I am on the direct sales team of the US. We also have a direct sales team in New York. We also have a direct sales team in Belgium. And our role specifically is deal with certain geographical areas. So in my case, I work with the US and Canada. There are some who work with the New York team also works with US and Canada. Belgium works with Europe. And then there's also people on the direct sales team who work with the Latin America countries. So we really try to cover the entire globe. Also, we have functional consultants, the implementation team. How this typically works is somebody would purchase a success pack. A success pack is a number of hours which are used in order to, I guess the best way is implement your project. So whether you're implementing one app or whether you're implementing 40 apps, the functional consultants are going to be there to help you with that implementation project. And we have functional consultants in our US office, and we also have them across the world as well. And their main focus is making sure that you're successful with Odoo. So that's really that's what they get paid for. That's what they are focused on, and those are their KPIs, is making sure that you're successful with Odoo and happy with the product. We also have developers, and these are spread throughout the world as well. We have our US developers, but we also have our India developers as well as developers in Belgium. And they are the people who work on the code of Odoo, making sure that it's functional, making sure that it's kept up, and making sure that new features are constantly added. We also have technical support. Those are the people you call into if you have a question about how do I do a certain thing in Odoo, if you don't have an account manager or you weren't connected with a DS sales person, and instead you just started it by yourself. We have our technical support team who's there to answer your questions within 24 to 48 hours. Now, they don't help within the implementation process, but they do help with, hey, this seems like a bug, or this isn't working, or this is something that I think works a certain way. Can you help me better understand it? And finally, last but not least, we also have a vast network of Odoo partners. These are partners which are really, in some people's cases, they consider them the lifeblood of Odoo. And the reason why is any project that the DS team isn't taking on, the Odoo partners can take it on for you. And the Odoo partners, we have hundreds and hundreds of partners spread throughout the world. And we can go into a little bit deeper of how the partners implement, but if you choose not to implement within Odoo with one of our functional consultants, you can always use a Odoo partner as well. So also we have different versions of Odoo. Now within Odoo, we have the Odoo community, and this is our first version, Odoo community. It's great for developers, open source, they're not supported. And what that means is, when we say not supported, it means not supported by Odoo itself. It's not supported by our team or the Odoo company. It's mainly supported by the forums and people who write tons and tons of code. Great for people who want to just go into the code itself, see how it ticks, see how it works. But if you talk to the DS team or you talk to anybody in the Odoo office, unfortunately, we won't be able to help you with it because it's completely supported by the community, and that's why we call it community. Next, we have the Odoo Enterprise. This is what I sell, and this is the online version where you pay either a monthly cost or a yearly cost. And this gives you the full version of the platform. It's fully supported by us, it's maintained by us, and you can pay for it month to month or year to year. And what the real value is there's a lot of things in the Odoo Enterprise that aren't included in community. The top two being accounting is a much fuller version, as well as manufacturing being a fuller version, as well as we also have a mobile app for our Odoo Enterprise as well. We also have the Odoo Enterprise Self-Host. This is very similar to Odoo Enterprise. The biggest difference is it's mainly supported by our Odoo partners. It's only paid for annually. You cannot pay for it month to month. But other than that, you still have the full version of the platform and you still have access to all the apps. Finally, we have Odoo SH, which is a relatively new thing. It came out in version 11. We're now on version 12. It's a dedicated cloud platform. You get access to the full source code. It's also fully supported by Odoo. And what's really great about it is integrated with outside software, but also being able to code on it. So with Odoo SH, you can have Odoo Enterprise online, but also code within it, also have full control over the code, make your own apps, really the world's you get the best of both worlds. So if you have a developer team, they can go into the code and almost play around with it as if you were using Odoo Community, but you have the fully functioning Odoo apps as well. And Odoo SH is also one of the things that we use as well when we develop on your Odoo Enterprise Online. That allows us to do development within your own database. So next, how to get started with Odoo. It's really simple to get started with Odoo. We have a very simple free trial. And within the free trial, all you have to fill out is first and last name, email, and company name, phone number, country, English, language, company size, primary interest. And from there, once you do that, you can start a free trial. It creates a database, and you can download as many apps as you want. What we'll do is we'll kind of take a switch from here and jump into that. So give me one moment. So now we're on the Odoo webpage. As I said, we're just going to try it for free. We just click right here. Now this is a little bit different since that's from version 11. We've actually updated it. So now you can download multiple apps at a time. As you can see, we have our sales, operations, manufacturing, website, marketing, resources, and customizations. Customizations is really cool, and we can go into that a little bit later. But let's say we're focusing on sales. As we said before, or if you've seen a similar note on Odoo, one app is free forever. However, once you add another app, it turns into a 15-day free trial. But you can still, within those 15 days, try out all the apps that you want. And most people find 15 days is more than enough to determine if Odoo is a solution for them. Within this, you have invoicing, CRM, possibly also website, and maybe project and inventory. So these are the ones we typically see a lot. From here, we can click configure and start our own database. So we can put in our first and last name, email, company, we can put in a phone number, language, company size, under 5, primary interest, using my company, start now. So now we have the welcome page. It's going to create a database with all the apps that we just downloaded. And right now it's currently downloading all the apps. So CRM, sales, inventory, invoicing, and so on. Once it loads, we'll have a screen that looks similar to something like this, and we'll be able to start playing around in our own system. So as you can see up here, here's our, we can choose our website. We won't do it at this time, so here's our CRM. We have sales, website, inventory, invoicing, project. Now, all of this is a very fresh. We haven't done anything with this yet. I'm actually going to jump back to the PowerPoint before I start using this and show you a little bit and talk a little bit more about Odoo. So what I want to talk about right now is the 3 biggest strengths of Odoo. The first is integrated scalability. Now, this can mean a lot of different things, but for us, really, it's the fact that every app that you purchase or every app that you download, they're all integrated together. So your sales will talk to your CRM, or your CRM will talk to inventory or manufacturing or your website, however you want to have it set up. And then is scaling that. And what I mean by scaling it is taking it to the next level. So it's not just integrating these together, but allowing you to grow as the company like our CEO wants. So if you start with only like 3 opportunities in your CRM, but you grow, Odoo will help you scale that. So as you need more and more users, as you need more and more apps, Odoo will be there to support you and be there to help you grow that process. So instead of having 3 opportunities, you move into 10 to 15 to 100 to 1,000 to 10,000 and so on and so forth. And it's across that with all our apps, whether it's our CRM, whether it's our inventory, whether it's our sales website. We are there to help you grow and just add more and more and more value to your business as time goes on. Next is user-friendly. This is really key for a lot of people, especially people who deal with NetSuite or SAP. The big names in the ERP market is they're not very friendly to use. And what's great about Odoo is how easy it is to just click in and get started with Odoo, and how easy it is to move across the system, do what you need to do with Odoo, and actually setting it up is pretty straightforward as well. Once somebody starts using Odoo, at least for me, when I started using the CRM here, it was a very simple thing to learn compared to the Salesforce CRM. And across even if you start using the CRM, you can move directly into the quoting software as well, which is a much more complicated thing to do within Salesforce. So for me, I personally really love how user-friendly it is, how easy it is to learn. And we also have tons and tons of videos online specifically about all the different apps that we have that, allow you to learn, but also allow you to use it as easily as possible for your business. It's also flexible and customizable. This is really key for a lot of people. If you're using the community edition, it is definitely flexible and customizable. The only problem is you're working with unfinished apps. You're not working with the full suite. When you use Odoo Enterprise, you have that full suite of apps, and you also have the ability to customize those apps and make it your own. And when you throw Odoo SH in, you can even add the third-party apps, and you can really go to town and truly make Odoo not just Odoo, but truly make it for your own business. So when I mention flexible and customizable, the biggest way we do this, at least right now, is through Studio. That's an extra app, as I mentioned previously, and it allows you to add extra fields. It allows you to change the layout. It allows you to do quite a few things in Odoo that used to only be allowed or only be able to be done through programming. So today what I'm going to jump into is mainly the CRM. We'll talk a little bit about the sales, inventory, Studio, possibly also purchasing, depending on the amount of time that we have. So I'm going to switch back to our brand new database. So here's our CRM, our sales, invoicing, inventory. I'm also going to show you how easy it is to add Studio as well. But let's just start with our CRM. As you can see, we start with a brand new database, but it's very easy to add opportunities. We can just click in here, call it create a customer as well. And we can also give it an expected revenue. This is really important for people who are trying to guess how much revenue they're going to pull in per quarter, per year, etc. Let's just say it's 10,000 and add it. That's all you have to do to create an opportunity within Odoo. It instantly gets set up right here. We have our Kanban view, which allows us to move it very easily between each of our different areas. And we can also go into the opportunity itself, and Odoo tracks all the information that we do. So as we can see, in real time it recorded when I moved from new to qualified, and we can also see when we moved from qualified to proposition. We can also add internal notes right here. We can add a lot of different follow-up information, specifically around the customer, address, website, where this lead came from, if we were referred to anybody, as well as the email, phone on the basic opportunity as well. We can also add expected closing dates, phone numbers, and tags, which are really useful, basically allowing us to really have full control over what we see within our CRM. Now, I mentioned Studio. Within this, if you don't have Studio, this is all that you can do. You can only make the changes to this. And for the most part, it covers 90% of the cases. But for the 10% who feel that we need another field, with Studio, what you can do is you can add Studio, which allows you to add extra fields to it, allows you to really customize even further above and beyond what we had previously. So once we go back into our manufacturing company, one of the new things we're going to be able to do is click into here. And now that we have Studio, we can actually click Studio up here. And now we have a bunch of different things that we can do. I'm going to keep this very simple, but we can add a new field that allows us to instantly change. Let's call this test box, just to make it simple. And right when we click away, it's now saved. We can close it and now use this field within our CRM. So now I can type into it and it's right here. Not only that, we can jump back into our pipeline. As you can see right here, we have our few different choices. We have filters, group by, and favorites. If we click on the filters, we can actually filter this to do a number of different things, but we can also find what we just created right there, our test box, and set up filters based on fields that we just created in real time. This chatter is also extremely powerful within Odoo. It's very similar to Slack in the fact that it's done in real time. But what I specifically like about this is, one, we can send a message directly to the email listed here. So if I edit this, what that will allow us to do is we can actually send an email directly to our customer. They will receive that email, and that email will be logged within Odoo as well, and it will be logged as an email. We can also log a note. This is one of the things that's really helpful for larger companies. You can @ somebody and you choose the person who you want to message, and they will receive a message on this particular opportunity. However, this is covered throughout the every single module. Well, almost every single module has this. So whether you're in CRM, whether you're in sales, whether you're in inventory, you can message somebody about a specific thing and they will receive it as well, either through email or as a note up top. Finally, we can also schedule activities. Let's say we want to schedule a call. As you can see, Odoo books it 2 days in advance. We can always change that as well. If we jump back into our pipeline, we can see this is an activity. We can jump into that activity and see exactly what we need to do. Once again, this is all tracked within Odoo, so if we mark it as done, it's saved as well. We can write a note for feedback, mark as done, and right here we can see in real time when that call was done. And if we want to schedule another activity, it's very easy to do to schedule a new one. So that's CRM very, very, very basically. CRM can get a lot more complicated than this. We can add in quotations. We can track specific metrics. We can go through different cohorts. We can track it through pivot tables. We can track through calendar views. We can track it through lists. We have a lot of different information we can see within Odoo. Right here, we can see all of our opportunities, expected revenue, go through each of our reports. It's a very powerful tool. Jumping back, it's very easy to get back to where we started. You just click on those 9 dots and there we are. We also, as I said, we have our sales, inventory, invoicing as well. In our sales is very straightforward. You can create a quotation. You can choose, once anything's been added to Odoo, you can then access it through other parts of Odoo as well. We can set times, payment terms as well, choose a product. If we don't have a product, we can actually create a product on the fly. We can call it whatever we want. Let's call it a widget. From there, we can set it as a different product type. Now, this is only allowed because we have the inventory system set up. Because we have an inventory product, because we download the inventory app, we actually have the ability to store this as an actual product, which we can then sell to our customers. We can also set up the sales price. Let's say it's 10,000 as well, and save it. And right now, Odoo, because of the way we have it set up, Odoo also reminds us, hey, you're trying to sell something that you don't have any in the warehouse. So one of the things we could do is we could, one, overwrite it if this is something that we want to do, or two, we can purchase it from a vendor, which is with the purchasing app, which I don't know if I downloaded. I didn't download it. So one of the other cool things we can do is we can add apps very easily, the same way that we did the studio. We could add purchasing. And then from there, we can purchase a widget who we can then sell to somebody else if we want to. Now, I know we're halfway through. How much time do we want to give, or do we want to save time for questions?
It's up to you. So far, it looks like people are in rapt attention. Don't have any questions as of yet.
No questions. Okay, cool. So what we'll do now is, because we have a purchase created, we can actually choose a vendor. Let's say this is a widget vendor. We can create it on the fly. We can then add the product. In this case, we're going to choose our widget. We can say how many we want to purchase. Let's say 5. We can also give it a unit price. Let's say it's $200 per widget. And we can also see that our total is 1,150. From here, there's a few different things we can do. Because this is a test environment, we can send this by email, and it's going to require us to enter email for our widget vendor. So Odoo will automatically create the email, but you are more than welcome to change the email, add different changes to it, choose different templates. Change the writing so that it looks more official. Add your signature to the bottom if you want. And right now this is only going to be sent to widget vendor, but we also create a PDF as well, which we can attach to this particular document. So here's our PDF. We can actually view this. This is what they would receive. Request for quotation, we want 5. And we can also have a specific price attached as well. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to confirm the order, which is saying we're going to spend $1,150 to receive 5 widgets. Once we've confirmed it, it changes from an RFQ into a purchase order. Before we receive products, what we're actually going to do is we're going to look in our inventory. We're going to be able to see within our products that we have our widget and we have on hand 0. If we go back to our purchase, there's 2 ways we can do this. If you are a one-man team, then you can just click receipt, which jumps us directly into the warehouse. However, if you have your own team, you can actually have somebody go log into inventory, see the receipt that they have to process, see it here, and then process these items into our inventory. So right now we have 5 widgets that we're expecting to receive. Let's say they show up on the next truck. We see them right here. We can actually edit this, change this to 5, and say that we're receiving 5 widgets into our inventory, validate it, and now we have moved. Now if we look at our inventory, we can see we now have 5 widgets instead of 0. So if we jump back to our inventory products, we can now see we have 5 widgets on hand. So within the purchasing app, it's very straightforward. This is also logged within accounting. If we have accounting set up, we can actually go into this. We can see that we haven't billed it yet, so we can actually create the bill right here. Even though it says we're in purchasing, we're now in our invoicing. We have our vendor, we have our item. From here, we look at the amount with the tax. We can validate it, create a bill for us, and then if we decide to, we can actually register this payment, send it by check, or we can send it manually through bank or by cash. We can also add different payment journals as well, validate it, and now it shows that we've paid our bill and we've sent our bill, we've paid our bill to the widget vendor. So we can track this within our invoicing and see that our bills is right here and it's paid. So jumping back into our CRM, as I said, we did create a sales order. Actually, I'm jumping in sales order first. As you can see, we created our sales order, but this isn't attached to our CRM. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go into our CRM and create a quote directly from our opportunity. By clicking create new quotation, we can choose our product. Once again, we'll choose our widget right here. We have our ordered quantity. We're going to say, let's say we're going to order 3 of them. It's going to cost $30,000 to our test company. We can save this, or we can send this as a quote directly to email. Because we don't have an email, we have to add one. Now, if you have a bunch of contacts that you've already created, once again, you can import that all directly into Odoo through an Excel sheet. So you don't have to manually create companies on the fly. You're able to create them previously in another document and then upload them all to Odoo, which is what a lot of people tend to do. Once again, we have our base email. We also have our PDF attached to it, which we can view, download it if we want. Here's our widget, here's our price, here's how much test company is planning to spend. We also have our logo, which we can update as well. So we can make it look really fancy if we want to. So jumping back, we can send this. Once again, this is attached to our sales order. So this is right here, and we can see this is sales order 2, and this is what we are expecting them to pay. Right now it's still in draft. It's not considered in Odoo that it's completed until we confirm it. And in most cases, what tends to happen is once somebody has clicked confirm, it would be considered a closed won deal because you've turned it from a quotation sent into a sales order, and now our job is to deliver the item. So From here, we can actually go into our CRM, see our manufacturing, and we can mark this as 1 if we want to, or if we want to sell more, we can do that as well. But right here, it shows us our orders, and we can show that we're ready to invoice this particular item. So for our sales order widget, we ordered 3, we have to deliver 3, and we want to invoice all 3 as well. So once again, if you're a one-man shop, you can just click directly into delivery. You can go down to your warehouse, edit this so that you are putting 3 of these on the truck, saving it. We now have our 3 widgets. They're going to be removed from our inventory. We're going to validate that. And now those 3 widgets have been removed. So if we jump back into our inventory, we are now going to see within our products, we have 2 on hand. Jumping back into our sales order, we can now see that we've delivered 3. We only have to invoice the rest. From here, we can create our invoice. We can choose invoiceable lines, down payments, percentages, fixed amounts, you name it. We're actually going to create and view that invoice. Here's our invoice right now. Right now it's in a draft, so it doesn't officially exist yet, at least in Odoo's eyes. Once we click validate it, this means that we will not be able to modify it anymore. So if we need to make any changes, now is the time to do it. If we don't have any changes to make, great, we validate it, and now it's turned into an open invoice. Now, once it's an open invoice, even though it says we're in sales, this is actually our invoicing area. So from here, we can actually register the payment. They pay us our $34,000. We can validate that. And now it shows as paid. So we are good to go for our invoice. If we jump back into our invoicing and we look at our customers, we can see that the $34,000 has been paid. So it's very, very straightforward. What we've done so far is we were in the CRM, we created a quote, moved into the sales. From sales, we went into the inventory, delivered the product, and then invoiced it as well. In order to create the inventory, of course, we used purchasing, and we viewed what we've invoiced and paid so far with our invoicing app. We also have projects and website. Project is pretty straightforward. You can create a project. Sure, let's call it office party. You can give it a project email, so an email that's specifically for our purposes. Let's call it office@testing.com, testing 11. And from here, we can create different columns, which is the main task, and then we can also create subtasks as well. Once again, you have the ability to import if you need to. There's a lot more we can show on project, but trying to keep it relatively simple. We can also go into the website, which is pretty straightforward. Jump directly into the website. This is a base website. It starts like this for everybody. If you go to testing11@odoo.com, you will be able to see this because right now it's published. If we wanted to get rid of it, we would unpublish it. From here, we edit, and we could add a title, we could add an image, we could add a picture, we could show features, we could add an image gallery, and then edit all of this if we want to. So from here, we can say, instead of a section subtitle, picture of a desk. And then that's saved in real time. So once we go back to save, this is now fully updated. We have our site title, we have our first, second, and third features, as well as if we decide to do e-commerce, we could sell them directly from a shop. If we want to, we can also see mobile view as well. We have a few different things we can choose to enhance our SEO, of course, and we can also go into each of our themes, choose different themes that we want to do. This is just the base theme, but we have, I think, hundreds of themes you can choose from in order to make the website so you don't have to do it all manually. And yeah, that's Odoo in a nutshell. Does anybody have any questions?
Let's see. Great presentation, Brandon. Looks like we have one. This might require a little bit of clarification. But let's see. Zaid Kilani asked for the check print. I always get a message that I have to choose layout from settings. What is the solution for it? I think we might.
For the check print, I always get the message.
So for the check print, that is definitely something that, let me see if I have a demo database set up. Give me a moment. I may have the answer, I may not. I'm gonna check it real quick. Start counting. Configuration. I think it's over here. So I don't know if you've done this already, but this is where you go to configure your checks. So you have to choose the margin, you have to choose how you're going to do it and where you're putting the check. And then it's going to create a PDF as well of the check. Is that your question?
He hasn't quite responded yet, but let's see. In the meantime, we got another one. Is the bill customizable and how? I'm not sure which bill.
Is the build a web application? Which one?
The bill. just
Oh,
bill.
yeah, the bill is definitely customizable. Now you would need Studio to do it. If we go into invoicing and we go into bills, for example, you can click into here and choose reports. This is a little complicated, of course, but you can jump into invoices and fully change anything in here. So if I want to move this pixels wide, or if I want to change it to be bold, or if I want to go into each of these and add a column or change the name or any of those, absolutely it's customizable. You just need Studio to do it.
Excellent. Well, all right. It looks like for the time being, going to give people an opportunity to gather their thoughts a little bit, make sure that the delay catches up with them. But in the meantime, thank you, Brandon, for walking us through this introduction to Odoo. Thank you all for watching. If you have any lingering questions that we couldn't answer here live, you can send us an email to webinars@odoo.com. Or if you would like to get a hold of Brandon, what is your email address?
It's bjo@odoo.com, and you can send me an email directly there. I normally respond pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So send me any questions you have or anything along those lines, and I'll be happy to either point you in the right direction or help you personally.
Yeah, and if you would like to visit any of our live tour events, we have a ton going on in this country and around the world, and you can get all of that information on our website. That is odoo.com/events. So yeah, that's where we have live demonstrations. You can do a little bit of networking, usually drinks and that sort of thing. But I think that's going to do it for us. Brandon, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, thanks for joining in. Thanks for wanting to learn more about Odoo, and looking forward to speaking to you.
Great.
Have a good one.
Thanks so much. Until next time.